Here we go. We're live. So I'm just going to take a little while to get the rest of the stream set up, but we will just go through this. We are playing with, on the left-hand side, Die Milkweed, which is Joel, and then on the right we have Christoph Bengtsson from Sweden. Now, Christopher is using my list, which is the world's winning list, hashtag. So the list is Vader, Whisper, and Grand Inquisitor. You can see here the rock setup is just going on in the background as I am talking. We'll have a chat about that in a second. What you can see is that Kris is trying to prevent the large tanky ships from getting into the middle. So what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to get the list loaded up. Obviously the lists on the side aren't what the actual lists are. Won't take me too long, and then we'll get into the game itself. It sounds as if Joel is going to have to run and where's the Phantom? There's Phantom. Get some food out the oven in a little bit, so there will be a little break in here, but apart from that, it's all good. Right, XWS, chuck that one in there, submit. Right, that is Kris's list, all good. So we'll get the time set to 2 hours, 120 minutes. We'll wait for them to start before getting that timer set. Okay, and we'll just get in Joel's list as well. Let me just bring it up for a second. So Joel he's got Lando with Selfless, Biston, Nian, and Perceptive. So we need 2400, Lando, Selfless. Nian is really key to a Lando build. Bistan and Perceptive co-pilot for the double evade. Surprised he isn't. I suppose, yeah, Perceptive Bistan. There we go. Intimidation, Sword, Zeb, and Shield on Hera. So we need the VCX. We need Hera. There we go. Intimidation Hera is scary, and Zeb is a thing. Then Sword Grower, Shield Upgrade. Shield Upgrade is great on the Ghost because it's basically free, and Saw, who is really, really good, even though he damages you. We like efficiency, so I think that's a 1-point bid. Yep. There we go. Start. Awesome. So we have a 2-hour timer. Those are almost the 2 squads up. Let's just copy that one in, and then you guys can see, and then I'll get this shared everywhere. We'll go from there. Right, edit XWS, control paste, paste. Lovely. Okay, now let's go back to the stream. I can fit all the things in the right places now. Look at that, isn't that awesome? Let's make the chat a little bit bigger. Perfect. And we are all good to go. You guys can see what time we are looking at. So let's go from there. I've got the restream sorted out. I have the recording sorted out. Apologies to Lizzie that were watching, that wanted to watch the review of the Star Viper game. Apparently it didn't record. Very frustrating, but I'll get back to it at some point soon. For now, let's get this shared just while these guys are looking at their opening moves, and then we'll go from there. There we go. Versus tanky rebel ships flown by Joel Springle. Cool. That's all sorted. Copy that, paste that, and hello to people who are already in the chat. And just get that there. We'll just get it into all the big groups. We need X-Wing UK group. We need Fly Better. Ready room. Be good to get it into Sweden as well, because Kris is from Sweden. So awesome. We'll get that posted. We've got it already posted in there. We'll get it in the ready room. Get it in Sweden. Already having Rebellion. We need it in UK. X-Wing miniatures. X-Wing, 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 X-Wing. Australia. And we want it in UK and Ireland. There we go. Perfect. Right. Boom. Done. Sorted. Alrighty. So, hello and welcome everybody. Let's get this thing rolling. Have I posted my top 4 match? The top 4 match imploded. Basically, I had to reinstall Windows on my computer. Because of that, incredibly frustrating. Didn't end up being either recorded or posted live to YouTube. That's now fixed. I will be re-reviewing it, basically doing it all again because reasons. So just while Joel is running off to go get pizza, we can have a look at some asteroids here. Now, I'm not entirely sure who posted which rocks, but oh, by the way, you guys can see in the top corner. There you go. You can see my mouse now. Top corner, we have a turn counter, so it's 15 turns or 2 hours, whichever comes first. We also have the force points on the table. Kris is doing that. It makes it a lot easier for us to track. So list-wise, if you have a look at the list on the right-hand side, that's Christopher Bengtson. He is using, I say, my list from Worlds. We worked on it together. It's really, really good. Whisper is suitably aggressive with Force. Vader is incredibly aggressive as always. And then Grand Inquisitor is just there to be horrendously annoying. On the left-hand side, you have a even more aggressive list. Harrison Dula will punch you straight in the nose. Has Saw Gerrera for free focuses if you don't mind taking damage. And the addition of Intimidation and Zeb is a really, really fun upgrade for only 4 points. Basically, for those of you who haven't played against Zeb in a while, not a very common upgrade. You can shoot if you are touching the opposition ship if they're in your front arc. They can also shoot you, so if you're pointing the wrong way, then that's a disadvantage. But yeah, imagine getting a 5 dice ghost cannon coming at you with -1 agility because of intimidation, even though you're in contact. It's great against droids. It'll just muller them, and because Saw's a thing, it's much better to remove a droid than to care about taking more damage. The basic idea of this list is you can see here Lando has Bistan, Selfless, Neonumb, and Perceptive. Lando is the end game piece. He just flies around the board broadsiding things. So there we go. I'm just going to ask Kris at what point the timer should be sent to. So just so I can go from there. So we're actually on. So we'll set that to 17. Perfect. All right. I don't think this game's going to time. It's not going to be a game that goes to time. It's going to be brutal one way or the other. If you have a look at the asteroids, I believe Christopher will have placed. He'll place this one, probably this one, maybe this one over here as well. Basically, hey, thanks for the subs. You get a good idea of where all of the Ghost and the Falcon has to go, because we're blocking off the center of the board here. Hey, thank you, junkies. We like this. Yeah. Kris has made it really difficult for these ships to come around the edge. The nice thing is that the 3-bank here from Lando will fit very nicely around the outside. Also, the really nice thing about Joel's list is that you can fly. Obviously, you can choose which order these ships go. So if you need to slow down the Ghost, it can just crash into the back of the Falcon here. So Falcon does a nice little 3-bank. Here it does a 1-bank, crash into the back. So we've already got a flank on from Whisper. Grand Inky is kind of dangling in the middle a little bit. He's acting as bait. Vader is waiting. I expect Vader to come up this way as well. I imagine that we will see a lot of work going on trying to get around the back. Hi there. So this is not going to be my World's Run. I know the thing at the moment says it's the World's Run. It's lying. For some reason it didn't want to change. This is the top 4. I'm going to be going over my World's Games. You can check it out on my YouTube channel. Actually, just go to youtube.com/c/Ollie_186. If you check that out, then all of my previous reviewed World's Games are up there. I use the streams because I was on stream 7 times. The Viper game is going to be up there eventually. Yeah, so this is the top 4 of Scott Bryant's Vassal League. I played in it last season. I couldn't commit to it this time because I was practicing so much Worlds and work was busy, which is a shame because it's a really good quality event here. Joel and Christopher are the veteran contenders here. They always make it to the higher rounds. You've also got Bartosz Wojcicki. Obviously, everyone knows him. He is in the other semi-final, which should be happening tomorrow. So if you guys are on Vassal and want to check it out, I'd recommend doing that. So we're just back into dials here. I think, personally, I would have barrel rolled Whisper here. Let me just check. Yeah, I would have barrel rolled Whisper. Because she decloaked, she had the free evade. If Whisper ends up over here, because if she barrels sideways, she'll be there. Then she has a nice, easy decloak 3-bank around the corner of this asteroid, all ready for a 4 forwards, 4 forwards. Gets Whisper over here in 2 turns. Lando's probably over there. That means that Whisper can slowly work her way around the back. At which point, Vader does a 1-bank and a barrel roll backwards. Inky does a 5 forwards, or maybe even just a 2 forwards and a barrel roll. Basically baiting Hera and Lando to come in here. But you can see that if Kris can kind of get the big ships to engage around here, they're going to struggle to get over the top of each other and would allow people to, all 3 of his ships to get some decent damage. Target priority wise, I would expect Kris to be shooting at Lando first. He is the threat in the end game. Whilst Hera is really annoying, she's very hard to kill quickly. And it's also difficult. Hey, thank you, Telsec. It's also very difficult for Hera to catch these ships in the end game. They're very maneuverable, most of them. So if you have Inky or Whisper in the end game, then they can just run around Hera. And Kris does have initiative here, so both of these ships are moving before his. The other thing to note is that it is a 15-round game, so it might not go to time, but depending on what happens, yeah, it's going to be interesting. I'm not surprised, Wonny Hall, that you lasted about 8 rounds. It is a very brutal list. Something on the upgrades that we don't see too often. On Lando, you have Bistan. Now, Bistan allows you to double tap, allows you to shoot twice, but you can't shoot the same ship twice. So as long as Kris can be careful and only have one ship in arc at a time, then he should be alright here. The other thing is that Bistan you have to shoot out the same arc twice. It's like a massive broadside out one side. So yeah, as long as you're careful. Interesting. Okay, so Joel's being careful here. He doesn't have any reason to come into this asteroid field, so he's not going to. He thought that Kris would be relatively careful. So Lando has allowed Hera to focus here. He's done a blue 3 forwards, and he has got the focus onto the Ghost. Personally, I would have reinforced the rear on the Ghost, just to try and not take too much damage through. But he's used his own action to focus. He's used the blue action to take a focus on the Ghost. There we go. We got an idea there. Right. And yep, there we go. That's 3 bank. Same principle from Kris. He still brings Whisper around. I probably would have been a bit more careful because I was expecting a 3 bank from Lando here. Would have placed Lando about there. Would have been in range. You can see there. Even the barrel roll out might not have got her out of range, so you've got to be super, super careful. So yeah. Right. Okay. Inky. So Whisper recloaks there. Not going to get any shots. I'm expecting Inky to go 2 forwards here. He's going fast. Okay. So he just wants Inky around the back. In which case I'd be extremely surprised if Vader does a little banky thing in here. Because if Vader commits, then yeah. Probably a 1 forwards from Vader. Maybe a 1 bank. Looks like he's dangling Vader as a bait this game. Yeah, there's 1 forwards. Swiftly followed by a barrel to the left. Or even if he's really going for the bait, then Vader will roll to the right and then 3 bank up here next turn, sit behind the gas cloud. Risky move, because you could do a 3 bank and a boost with the Falcon, end up right in threat range. Yeah, here is a pain. And IGs against, IGs don't like getting chased down by Hera. Because you've got initiative 4 IGs, it's a serious problem. It's a real, real problem. Right. So, yep, there we go. There's the roll to the left. Alrighty. And we are going to go back to dials. So, feel free to have a go, post in the chat, see which list you think is going to win here. For me, I mean, I think my squad can take on anything. So I would back my squad to win here, but it does depend on... Hey, thanks for the subs. It does depend on how well the Ghost is flown. I think Lando is a constant here. Lando is always going to get some pretty good shots, but if you're trading Lando into the aces will eventually chew him down. He's only got 1 agility. You can put crits into him. Because he's got selfness, he is the first target, but it's how much Hera can be leveraged. If Kris can can dodge and make sure he doesn't get shot by Hera, then I think he's got a good chance. However, if he gets caught in front of the Ghost, or even if he gets blocked by the Ghost, and that intimidation comes into effect, then he could realistically lose an ace in a single turn of combat. Especially if he gets bumped into the front of the Ghost and Hera and Lando are shooting at the same thing. Right, I'm just going to be back very quickly, just going to pop off for a drink, and I will be back in about 2 minutes. Lando. So here we go. Phantom decloaks forwards. Got a real nice 3 hard turn available. If Hera turns in here, she's going to take some damage. I expect Lando to be banking. Probably a 1 bank, which should keep Whisper fairly safe. It's going to be interesting because Lando is going to end up out of range for a target lock here. It's going to mean that he is very much going to struggle. There we go, the volume's probably a bit better there. He is very much going to struggle to get targets. Oh, I was wondering. There's the double K turn. Right, now, has Whisper hedged? Kris can't do a forwards move from Vader here. That's a real worry. He can't really do a hard 2, or maybe the hard 3 fits. So Inky is going to roll into this. He's going to try and be juicy bait right now. So there we go. He's rolling over here. Now the real question is, yeah, okay, good move from Kris there. He wasn't too aggressive. But Whisper is now in a serious amount of trouble. He needs to barrel roll. He needs to roll back this way. It puts her in a corner, but allows her leverage to get out next turn. Needs to go back. Come on, do the barrel roll, Kris. Get out of the way. I'm assuming that the guys doing this aren't listening to me. Also, my stream is set up at a little bit of a delay, so that shouldn't be an issue. But yeah, with I really like Joel's moves here. I was wondering whether or not he'd do the K10. Because he'd come straight along the board, he's now in a perfect position where Hera is in front. She can be passed off some really good actions from Lando. Lando here can just do a beautiful 3 bank in, ignore the Inquisitor, and you can see that Kris is in trouble. Whisper is the cannon in this list. Vader is way too far away. If you're going to do this with Vader... Oh, okay. So, Whisper's roll to the right here. Now, there's good things and bad things about this. The good thing is it's going to make Joel choose. So next turn, Whisper's decloaking one way or the other. So he has to guess whether or not Whisper's going to be over here or whether Whisper's going to be over here. The problem that you've got now is that if he brings his ships over here, all 3 of his aces are in this area. So it's a very, very easy 1 bank from Hera. And, I mean, Joel can change this. Like, Joel just sees where Whisper's move goes and goes, cool, I'm just going to change Hera's dial. I can change it between a 1 forward or 2 forward, or the green, or the 1 or 2 banks, because that's Hera's ability. Whisper is in a lot of trouble. Now, nice little move from Vader here if it clears. So Vader should have a 3 bank available to him. It goes far back as possible. 3 bank burners. The only problem is that you're using burners to get into combat, so that's a bit of a worry. Again, really, really good pressure put on by the fact that Joel's done this this bank. I can. It's not. Yeah, it's going to have to be a forwards move. Again, that's all 3 ships in this area, or at least 2 of them. Joel essentially just has a really, really easy set of options next turn. He knows there's going to be ships in this space. All he now needs to do is just nice little bank in here. It depends what he wants to kill. He gets a choice. My worry here, as Enigma Wargaming is saying, what's going to happen is you're immediately going to get a load of punch going into Whisper. And if Whisper dies early, you lose the game. It's that simple. You need that consistent output damage against lists like these, against squads like these. It's going to be a scary prospect if Whisper isn't there to do that punching. Okay. So, moving on, there is quite a few possibilities for the aces coming in this turn. First of all, we have to have a look at the Whisper Decloak. It always helps to think about things in order. So you think about Whisper first because she's going to decloak, then you think about Grand after you've done Whisper's move, and then you plan Invader. It means that your ships aren't going to crash into each other because you're fully aware of where each of them goes. When you change your mind on a move, make sure that it doesn't crash into any of the previous moves. That's the most common way that ships crash. Now, looking at this here, the reason that I would have barrel rolled up here is because it allows a very, very nice decloak hard one barrel roll out, or just cloak. Even if you're taking decent shots, you're still taking 4 dice against 4 dice with the force token, so you're probably only going to take a shield or 2 here, and it allows Vader to punish if Whisper gets chased. If Hera doesn't chase Whisper, then you can just roll back out the other way, and that's fine. So really, Kris is implying that he's considering going this way with Whisper. And there's maybe even a consideration of going fast forward or 2 forwards. Because the Ghost wants modifications, if the Ghost does 1 bank, it's going to end up around here. Its arc is going to be there. So that's as far as it can go. If Whisper decloaks this way, does a 4 forward and a barrel roll, there is a definite possibility she could get out of the way of the Ghost arc completely. Now she may end up in range 1 of an angry Lando. That's a problem. But if you're trading with Lando, not too much of a problem because you can get all 3 of the ships onto that target. So now that he's rolled this way, my immediate thinking would be decloak this way, plan in a 3 or a 4 forwards, and then just go, right, I need this barrel roll to clear, make sure that I'm not in this arc. Obviously, Joel could then do the hard 2, which is an issue, but then he only gets a single modded shot with Saw. He doesn't get the focus target lock shot from Lando. Lando, because he's stressed here, he's got a question. What he would probably want to do is he'd probably want to just do a 1 bank and then maybe a boost to this position. That allows a lovely little broadside, stops Whisper from banking, and he still gets a focus token for his efforts. So I think Hera plans in a 1 bank, takes target lock and Whisper as her normal action. Lando, 1 bank, boost with his ability after doing the blue, and then takes a focus. That's what I do if I was the Rebels. With Whisper, I think I have to go for the 4 forwards. I might dial in a 3 where the 3 put me through. No, not far enough. I think I have to go for the 4 forwards with Whisper, which means Inky is going to do a 1 bank, keep the range. Vader will actually, I think, do a 3 hard. 3 hard followed by a burners puts him in a good position down here. Doesn't mind so much if he's blocked by Lando next turn because that's taking the threat off of Whisper. If you want to put all your ships in the same position, then you go for the 5 forwards boost and just threaten, but Lando might not be there. I prefer getting Vader or Whisper onto a flank. So that would be the right idea there. We'll see what happens. So Vader's made his move. Because Vader was first, probably a straight move. That'd be my guess. He's now presently thinking, okay, Inky's made the decision, so Whisper should be close behind. There we go. Because Inky and Whisper are closely tied together, it should be fairly obvious once you put one of them in what the other one is going to do. Okay. So now, here's the big question. Where's Whisper decloaking? I suppose another option would be a decloak there through bank and a barrel roll, but then you're risking getting crashed. So, big decisions. Decloak is going left. Okay. So we're decloaking up here. Are we doing a hard 1? We can get a bit of information from how far forward the decloak goes. So if he's decloaking backwards, okay, he's decloaking backwards as possible. That means it's probably likely to be a 1 bank or a hard 1 and then a barrel roll backwards. Probably the 1 bank, planning for a barrel roll just in case the ghost comes in over here. He might actually be able to get out of arc. Maybe even a 2 forwards and a barrel roll. Either way, we'll see. Now, let's see where these big beasties have gone. So time-wise, we've used up a bit. We're 5 turns in. This is when it's going to get a bit messy, so we'll see what happens from here. Do, 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 do. Come on. Alright, there's Hera. Now Hera gets to decide on the blues. The problem you've got is if Hera does a one bank, the one bank from Lando won't fit. Kris being a little bit cheeky there. I mean, you guys can see a chat down here, so you can see what they're saying. Yeah, this is going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting. I really like playing against Joel and Kris. They're the kind of players that you can have a joke with throughout the game. It's really good to see. Now, both of them were getting genuinely worried about going into this game. The irony is I'd actually had messages from both of them asking how to approach this matchup. Kris, because the lists are decided in advance, so you know what you're going to play. I think Kris here has to kill Lando quickly. Oh, okay. I think that's a good idea from Joel. We'll see. Maybe a one back to barrel roll might actually get out of arc. However, we're definitely in target lock range, and there is an easy space for a hard 2 next turn to turn in on Vader. Yep, there we go. There's the lock. If Whisper ends up anywhere in arc right now, she is going to be in a lot of pain. I didn't see that coming. I have a real problem with Joel keeping these ships quite so close together. If he plans to do a pair of one banks, it just won't fit. He wants to carry on doing one banks or one forwards from Lando here. If Hera does a hard 2 next turn, then it won't fit. Lando's move just won't fit. So he's going all in for Whisper here. He wants a double tap. I am just going to triple check on my builder and make sure that Bistan works as I think it works. Modified Lando, we want Bistan Gunner. Yeah, it's a ship you have not already attacked this round. So he can only attack Whisper once with Bistan. He can't get the double tap off. There we go. So there's the one bank, and there's the barrel roll to the right. He's actually thinking about this. I don't think he gets him out of arc. I think if you're going to go, you're going to end up, yeah, he's still going to get shot. I would have taken the passive sensors and just tried to punch the ghost as hard as possible, or punch Lando as hard as possible. He doesn't even get the asteroid for support here. All that we've done by that barrel roll is we've stopped 2 decloak options for next turn. I think that was a real big mistake there from Kris. He can then watch this back and shout at me later, I'm sure. But yeah, that's painful. I think Whisper is in real trouble. Yeah, I think I would have accepted the fact that Whisper is going to get hurt, either cloaked or taken the passive sensors to punch Lando. At which point you have 2 evades. Lando doesn't have target lock, so as long as you make sure that you don't take crits from Hera, then I think you're okay. Can the boost fit? I think the boost is okay. He's going to have to do the burners. Puts him very close to Inky here. I'm really concerned about Kris's positioning this turn. A 3 hard from the Falcon into here blocks basically all the decent moves from Vader and Inky, and you just do a hard 2 with a ghost and you make everyone's life a misery, because you can just take a target lock on Vader, or even just a one bank and just mess up Whisper some more. Whisper's only option, if she doesn't want to get hit in the face by Zeb next turn, is a decloak sideways and a 4 forwards, which can be very easily covered by Lando. As I said, 3 hard, takes a target lock on Whisper. Just you got butt shots coming in. So I think he needs to roll with Vader here. You need to barrel roll with Vader. That allows you a fast move next turn, probably another 5 forwards, which will allow you to get over the top of the Falcon, or just a 1 forwards. It just gives you distance. Vader, that's a really bad place. He needs to barrel roll. So there we go. Okay. Right then. So Vader putting some damage into Lando here. Should hopefully strip some focus tokens. 3 against 2. Probably expected to do 2 damage here. That's what I'd expect anyway. Yep, spend the focus. Keeps a lot for next turn. That's very useful. I would now immediately be thinking if you can get Grand Inky, or if you can get Vader to crash into Inky, then you're going to get a fully modded shot onto Lando next turn. That's not bad at all. Oof. That hurts. See, this is the reason why I probably would have target locked. Lando is hurting. Inky then shoots him, probably does a shield. Whisper can put a crit into him and still get 2 evades. As it is, we've done the barrel roll, and we don't know what Whisper's going to do. She probably wants to keep her focus, her force, for an evade. If you could have had the target lock to spend to make sure you get that evade for defense, it would have been helpful. Alright, not terrible. That was kind of expected. Lucky roll from Kris. That's not the one that you need to worry about though. Thank you for the subs. We like the subs. Peter Spletch, amazing name. Good job. Also, Croc Guardian. There we go. Thanks, guys. Nice. He does manage the double tap. He doesn't have. Oh, so I need to check something here. Checking rules. Do you have to spend the focus for Bistan? See, he's not great. That's never used that often. Just got to check some of these things. If you have, that's really nice. You don't even have to spend the focus. You just have to have one. That'd be good. So, Kris rolling his way out of trouble there, but he's not out of trouble yet because there. Oh, that's range 2. Oof, that's bad. I'm fully expecting Whisper to take a crit here because I don't think Kris can spend the evade. Okay, reel the blank. There we go. That is 3 crits and a hit. It's very much worth spending a shield for that one. This is going to hurt quite a bit. So Lando took 3 shields. There we go. Whisper. Oh boy. Yeah, I think that's fair. I think that's fair considering that Kris didn't have to spend anything on the previous roll. I mean, it always hurts still blanking with Whisper there. Ugh. So he has to spend the evade, and he still takes a crit. What is the crit? He has to spend the evade there, and this is why Whisper is in such a bad position. With the rock in the way and taking that much firepower, you cannot take that much damage. What's the crit? Let's see what it is. Crit says, just say, oh, that's game. That's good game. So what's going to happen now is a Whisper is going to activate. She's going to get an Ion token, and next turn she's going 1 forward straight into the asteroid. I mean, it was probably a dead Whisper anyway, because you just one bank the ghost, crash into Whisper with Zeb, and kill her. But at least then she'd get to fire back for a turn. Like, you get 1 more turn of shooting out of Whisper. That's horrible. That's really unlucky. So we went from getting good luck on the dice to getting horrible luck on the crits. I mean, average damage, that's what I'd expect. I'd expect to take 3 health and Whisper there. But you could have mitigated that somewhat by having the extra evade. Oof, that's horrible. Sometimes it's better just to take target locks. Hit focus hit. And dice are rolling well. Right, let's make sure that information is onto Whisper. So we're down onto that health with the disable power regulator. Cool. 2 more shields on Lando. So one of the ghosts. Eesh. Yeah, that's a pretty big deal. That's a pretty big deal. That really hurts. Oh, sorry, can't see the dice. Apologies. Normally I have the dice available. Where is my dice window? Ah, that's why my dice window is hiding. 2 seconds, guys. Da, 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 da. I need to get the dice window up. There it is. Now you can see the dice. Sorry, I wasn't paying enough attention. There we go. You got dice now. Perfect. So we'll just lock that one again. And yeah, that's in a pretty good place up there. You can all see it. Let's just make sure it's back to where it should be. Lovely. Okay. Anything else that needs to be locked? That needs to be locked. That's locked. Hey, thank you. Right. So Whisper gets to shoot. There we go. Evade focus. Yeah. That's the thing, like you can't guarantee the evades. You need the target lock. Yeah, that could be the game right there. I mean, Whisper was always going to die next turn, but being able to decloak that way, crash into the front of the ghost, and still get to shoot Lando meant that Whisper had, like, Kris would have a decent chance, because if Lando can realistically go down next turn. So if Lando takes a couple of crits there from Whisper, or a crit, because with Fifth Brother that's very reasonable, then next turn Lando dies, like could very foreseeably die. Whisper gets a range 1, Vader might get a range 1 as well, and then you've got 2 ships against the Ghost, and that's winnable. Right now, Whisper's gone, like she's on a rot next turn. The question is, what is Kris going to leverage with the fact that Whisper is going to have to get shot next turn? Because you are going to need to shoot, because Whisper's going to end up there. So if it was me, I think the hard 2 from the Ghost will fit. So I chuck a hard 2 in from the Ghost, sit around here, just, yeah. I think hard 2 Ghost, 1 bank Lando. I think I target lock onto Vader with the Ghost and shoot Lando at Whisper. I think I do a 1 bank Lando. I do that first, just to make sure it fits. Yeah, 1 bank Lando, hard 2 Ghost. Probably the Ghost will crash, but then you can take a focus with Lando. I mean, the other thing is you kind of want to block everything up, so if you don't want Lando to take that much damage, so actually hard 3 from Lando into there, turn his arc sideways and just naked dice into Whisper, probably killer. Shoot first, and then do a hard 2 and a target lock anyway from the Ghost. And then if you block Vader, fantastic, you've got a focus target lock shot on Vader. If Lando kills Whisper, all the better. Yeah. The problem is that Kris can't bring Vader in here. 1 forwards to there, 1 forwards will end up there. That's right on top of where Lando will be, or should be. The only other thing I can see is Lando might go 3 forwards boost. The Falcon no longer has a 1 turn, Pubert. That is a problem with the new Falcon dial. So a hard 2 from them both could work, but my view is here is that because if you allow these 2 ships to shoot, the Falcon will probably die next turn, or it will be put on so little health that it's not really going to matter. So yeah, the Falcon gained a hard 3 and it lost the hard 1. The issue with that is that if you allow Vader to shoot your Falcon at range 1, even if he's taking shots back, there's going to be a very sad Falcon. A very sad Falcon. So I just want to check through and make sure, like, let's just have a check of Inky's dice there. Did he take? Yeah, he took a target lock as the action, so he did spend both force. So he's got one this turn. Yeah, with two ships already target locked under Lando, Lando cannot hang around. He needs to block them both. I could maybe see a 4K. Nah, doesn't clear far enough. The only other thing that I can see is that Inky might do a hard one to the left here. Keeps Whisper off the rock and allows her another turn of shooting. Because Whisper is more valuable shooting than Inky, she does more damage. And if you can get another turn of shooting out of Whisper and gives a nice 4K option next turn for Inky, I can see that happening. Oh boy. Right. So, Joel's dials are down. Not many good options for the imps here. I think you actually have to risk a 1 forwards invader here. I mean, yeah, Lando can hard turn boost. It will probably fit, but why? When you can just block things instead. And just turn your right sideways, murder Whisper. The best place for Falcon V is in contact with things. Therefore, it's not taking damage, it's removing actions. I think if you're going to run away, then you go 3 forwards and then boost from there. Because it allows you to 3 forwards, straight boost. Or no, 3 forward, rotate arc, maybe get the curve boost in? Probably. Yeah, 3 forward, straight boost, focus. Leave a nice easy 1 bank open for next turn. Give the ghost some more actions. This is not over by any way or means, but it's hard for Kris right now. Yep, we've remembered that. Okay, so we've got that, we got that there, we got that there. I'm more up to date than anything else. At some point I should shout at them. I mean, technically I suppose I'm playing TO for this game. I'm just being nosy. I'm there if they need me. Like, that's the nice thing about high level Vassal games, is that people know what they're doing. Everything is fair and wholesome. Come on, Kris. You can still win this. He's got his head down a bit, but we'll see. If Vader can get a good turn here. If Joel does the hard 3 from Lando, it's going to be a lot harder, but it is definitely a possibility of doing alright. We'll see. Right, there is a 3 forwards. I think. Oh, interesting. Okay. I think we're still going to see a hard turn from Hera, but she's just going to crash into the back of the Falcon. Or maybe we're going to see a 4K. Yeah, there's the hard 2. It's got an arc onto a very sad Whisper. So what's really, really cool, Kay, is that if you get into new Vassal, then it's got a lot of really, really cool shortcuts to help everyone. Okay, so Inky is in a good position here. I'll show you the shortcuts at the end of this game once this is done. So Inky is in a pretty good position. He just does a curvy boost. Gets some nice range 1 shots into the Falcon. Here we go. There's the curve boost. Yep, that's range 1. Lovely. Stresses himself out for a focus token. Yeah, we're all friendly people on here. I mean, there's loads of people who will just, like, if you just say a beginner in your name, hey, nice to see you, Techno, or Taneka. Yeah, if you just ask, look, most people on here are very happy to help you through your first game. Right. Yeah, we link the focus. Whisper is just going to do the one forwards and go clonk. Vassal's great. It can't replace. Yeah, this is Vassal. It can't replace the table practice, but it does help to get bonus practice. You can't customize them. They like up. You can make your ships coloured. Oh, that's a dead Whisper. Yeah, takes damage from the asteroid. Whisper is done this turn. The plus side is at least one of the ships will shoot at her, but really doesn't matter. So what Kris needs to do this turn is make sure that Lando takes so much pain. He needs to make Lando pay for killing Whisper, because if you can lose Whisper and kill Lando, that's okay. Like, that's a good trade. And yeah, Tseneka 53. This is Vassal. This is actually what you see when you're playing the game. To give you an idea, if I just change to the to this view, this is what you see when you're playing. I've got this set up. So what I'd also need is I'd need my player window, which you can see here. So this is at the moment player 1 window for Joel. Your dials would be dragged back into here when you finish. You've got your cards there that spawn automatically when you copy in a list. Obviously, I've got it set up nice and fancy so that you can't see any of that overlay, but there we go. Okay, this is why we take target locks. Reroll both. Sorry, this is Vader into Lando. So, annoyingly, I think Kris gets aggressive here. I would have spent the Force on that eyeball. Oh man, that's sad. That's really sad. So I would have gone for a guaranteed crit. So I would have spent the Force on the eyeball, crit it, and then spent the lock afterwards. So yeah, if it's a really good way of doing it. Also, depending on where you are in the world, where are you? Europe? You're America? There should be a shop nearby. There's loads of shops around. Yeah, it is a very good way to try lists without spending money. Also, it's a good way of getting you to spend money because I now need to buy 5 Rebel A-Wings with Crackshot. But, you know. So, Hera doesn't have Arc. That was a bit of a risky move there. In America, depending on where you are, first of all, have you joined the Fly Better page? I imagine you have, which is probably why you're here. Just ask on the Fly Better page, hi guys, what shops are in my area that I can play at? There's a load of guys there that will be able to help you. Also, Vassal is a great way of getting involved in terms of learning the game. Okay, so that's a dead Whisper. But really importantly, Lando didn't have to spend anything to do... Lando didn't have a shot on Vader there. That's a really big deal. Oh, that'd be cool. So yeah, definitely get involved an X-Wing night if you can make it. It's really cool. But yeah, in the meantime, Vassal is a really good way of picking up X-Wing, getting used to X-Wing. You can see that there's a fairly decent community on here. I mean, there's tournaments on here, etc., etc., etc. So that is a dead Whisper. Right, now, how much damage can Inky do back? Hopefully a lot. Did Kris remember that he had a target lock? Looks like Kris hasn't remembered he has a target lock. He's tilting himself here. Oh no, sorry, that's him being shot. Because Bistan is doing a thing. There we go. Okay, so now Inky gets up and aggressive in Lando's grill. Okay, that's fine. Reroll the blank. And that's why we take the focus. So, nice. So, for those of you that weren't paying attention, there was a force spend to reduce the damage incoming. So we then get 2 more damage. That's 5 health remaining on the Falcon. Then we have Whisper down. Whisper is gone. Okay, but the other 2 ships are healthy. So not a terrible position for Kris to be in. We're on round 7. So this is probably going to time out before it rounds out. It gets a bit faster at the ends. But yeah, I definitely get involved. My recommendation would be to play your game on the table before you start off on Vassal. If you haven't played any games before, it can be a bit overwhelming to play on Vassal, because most people will be loading up full 200-point tournament level lists. I mean, not necessarily tournament standard, but you are playing as if you were going to an event or just to pick up a game in your store. If you're learning the game, really good idea. Play with your buddy on a Sunday. That'd be awesome. And then yeah, you can see where you go. A lot of the time, if you're free on another evening, game stores do just have some spare tables. So normally someone will say, yeah, why not? I'll go for X-Wing on another night. It'll probably be good for them. So do with that. Yep, and good job, Joel. Hey, Andreas. Good to see you. You need to go and send Kris your energy because Whisper just got nuked. He's not in a terrible position here, though. The problem that you've got is that Hera now has 2 really good options. She can do a 4K. Alternatively, she can just do a 1 crash. Inky, I think, just has to do a 1 hard here and just turn into the fire. Vader can do a 3 hard around the asteroid. No, he can't. It doesn't quite fit. So Vader's going to have to do a 3 bank. Probably going to have to spend his last afterburners. He needs to kill Lando. He could do a 1 bank or a 1 forwards and just nuke the ghost. I think a 1 bank is maybe the best idea. Inky definitely does a hard 1. Yeah, Kris can do it. He can definitely win this game. But let's see, if Joel keeps his foot on Kris's throat, then he's got this game. It's good to see this is going to be a very close game. So the next few turns are really pivotal here. Joel is up. If you can keep Lando alive and sort of boost away a little bit and get Kris to focus on Hera, then this game will be a very, well, I say very, it should be a fairly easy win for him. If he can't, we're definitely not going to see double K turns because the arc on the Falcon isn't pointing in the right direction. I can see a 3 bank coming from Lando, or even just a 1 bank. I would do the 3. So the problem is the angle. I think Lando is going to do a 2 bank and then a boost, personally. Leave the arc where it is, 2 bank boost, double focus. We should end up getting arc on Vader. I think we're going to see a K turn from Hera. But I can see a 1 crash coming in from Hera and just hoping to catch something. But I think the K turn is much more useful, especially because he has Zeb. If Inky does come in this way, then you can crash him, hopefully, or crash Vader next turn and just leverage the fact that he can shoot even if he's touching the other ship. And Vader and Inky will definitely be saying no touching, I do not consent, and trying to not have that happen. That seems fairly painful, getting a range 1 ghost with probably a focus and a target lock coming in as well. And remember, even if the Ghost K turns, it's still got Saw Gerrera on board, which means you can still turn all of those hits to crits. The fact that Kris is thinking about this for so long means that he is seriously considering whether to engage or whether to turn away. He's not too down on points here. If he goes away for a few turns, then either kills Lando or halves the Ghost, he'll win. As long as he doesn't take half on either of his ships. And Vader and Inky are very, very tanky. I really like Saw. I think he's a very good upgrade that's appropriately costed. He's 9 points. He's very expensive, but he does give passive mods, which is great. Oh, he did go for the crash. Oh, interesting. If Vader did a one banker or one forwards hit, this could be really good for Kris. Vader can foreseeably put 4 damage into that ghost from Vader very, very easily. At which point, he only needs to put 2 more in to halve it, and then he's winning again. So as long as he doesn't take too much damage, it's interesting. Yeah, Fat Han is pretty good. And Fat Han with Saw is disgusting. That's a very aggressive hand. That's interesting. What was he running on that Han? What was the full list? Tell me. I need to know. Because I love Fangs and I also love Han. Yep, that wasn't that surprising. Now, interestingly enough, I'm just going to go back and read Zeb again, because I believe that you shouldn't be able to take too much benefit from that there. So let's just get Zeb Aurelius up. Oh, it no longer says an arc. So that's really bad. That's really bad for Joel. You can perform primary attacks at range 0. Enemy attacks at range 0 can perform primary attacks against you. So because Inky has crashed into the ghost here, yeah, he can just shoot. He can shoot range 1 into that ghost. Realistically, like, you could halve the ghost this turn. I don't think Vader should roll here. Again, there's no good reason to. The only good reason is to get space, but he's spending all of his force and he's taking a shot from Lando. I would prefer to have the force for defensive modifications. Oh, why are you going that way? I know why you're going that way, but also... No, you know what? I'm wrong. Good job, Kris. I will shut up. Basically, what's going on here is Kris is taking no shots onto... yeah, I think... Yeah, that's okay. Intimidation is a pain. Oh, damn it. Kris's red dice are really not coming through from here. So Han Solo, R2D2, Sogoro. Ah, that's nice. R2 and Sora, a very nasty combination. Engine, Luke. Oh, so wait. That wasn't Jack Mooney, was it? No, Jack wasn't playing the LCQ. That's interesting. I think I still prefer Kane and crew, but that's pain. Yep, that's no crits and Vader for 2 turns in a row. That's a pretty big deal. We'll see what happens from Lando shots here. So 1 less damage on Lando. I mean, realistically, that could have been like 2 crits into Lando there. And a total of 3 damage. That could have put Lando on like 2 health. Kris has been getting quite unlucky. Welcome back. Oof. Someone remind Joel that dice are meant to be average. Ah, that's fine. Yeah, that's about right. He should have taken the damage there. Unfortunately, doesn't get to keep the focus, but that's fine. Yep, that is correct. Kris gets a shot into Hera. That's quite important. Ah, nice. Joel was staying with you. Wait, so did I not meet Joel? Oh god, I need to go and stalk him on Facebook. I hope I met Joel. I really like Joel. I chat to him loads online. Joel. There's Joel. Totally unsure if I met Joel at Worlds. If I didn't, Joel, I'm sorry. You're a wonderful person. 2 shields into Hera. Every little helps. So, Taneka 53, what you need to do is you need to go and watch my helpful information. You usually need to go to this link. Right on there. That was why I was going to say I was going to be sad if I didn't see him. So Taneka, you need to go to that link and you need to check out the pinned video, which is an introduction of how to install, use, and generally, get up and running with Vassal. It takes about 45 minutes to an hour to get going, but once you've watched that, you should be all sorted. So there we go. It takes you through the bits and the bobs. Also, there's a second video on there which runs through essentially what to do in terms of standard do's and don'ts if you're playing online. It's about an hour long, that one. But it's a really good video, so I'd recommend watching both. Right. Now, Inky has a fairly unobstructive move next time. Hey, thank you for the subs. Hawk's Head. You guys have got really good names. Mine's boring. It's actually my name. There we go. I mean, right. Sorry. Game. Important stuff. Yeah, Hero needs to get out of the way, otherwise Inky is just going to kill her from behind. Lando is eventually going to get chewed by Vader. So I think Kris just takes a gamble here. He's in a good position. Vader's healthy. I think he has to go and kill Lando. If he can get a range 1, and then Inky can shoot as well, then he can take Lando off the table. Now, what he needs to do is he needs to do that without Hera, killing him. But as we've just seen, if Inky can get into a position behind Hera where he can just keep on shooting, then he will eventually just chew down the Ghost, and the Ghost won't be able to do anything about it. Also, if the Ghost wants to get good shots into Vader, then he starts doing damage to himself. I need to update the damage things, so let's do that. Ghost has taken another 2 shields. Inky has taken 1. This is getting close. I mean, we're round 8 here. Got an hour to go. Yeah, I'm curious. I think we're going to see a total wipe. Yeah, that'd be my recommendation. It's a lot easier to do when someone talks you through it, which is why I made the video. That's the idea. Right. Fairly quick dials down from both parties. This is going to be a brutal turn. Something is going to get punched. The question is something going to explode? If basically the next person to down a ship here is going to win the game, I think. Oh, that's interesting. That's a dead Falcon. That Falcon is off the board. This is second edition. That's a dead Falcon, I think. I don't think the Falcon can get out of that. I think the hard 2 next turn will put it off the board. Maybe? That's really close. Oh man, Joel, what are you doing? That is such a risk. Why not 1 bank left and just turn your art sideways? I mean, he wants a focus lock, I think. Oh, he wants to. Oh, nice. He wants to reinforce the Ghost. Reinforce the rear. Okay. Oof. That is interesting. I don't think Inky shoots. Inky doesn't shoot the Ghost here. Inky just shoots into Lando. If Vader's done a 2 forward or a 1 bank, oh, that's not okay. That's aggressive. Right then. Well, sure. Okay. Oh, this is going to be an interesting turn. Oh my days. So Vader can totally PS kill the Falcon here, and Inky should be able to finish it off. Should, like, oh my god. I don't. Can it? I don't know what to do. He's obviously got a burn as the range 1, but I think he barrel rolls. Yeah, he does. He doesn't actually take a focus for defense. Oh, that's a really big deal. But he doesn't get short range 1 by the Falcon. God, that's ballsy. I think he stays there and takes focus. I think he takes it. He has to put 4 into Lando. The dice have been coming up really bad for him. If he can get Lando off, and chances are with a crit, there's a good chance of one-shotting Lando here. There's about a 50-50 shot. I think you lock and you focus. because he's only, the problem is here, Vader's only got one force. He's only got one force. So if he rolls, he doesn't get the focus. Oh, this is such a hard decision. Can he? How much force did he have? Ah, that's really nice. So you can stress out Vader. I always forget about this. Good move, Kris. I always forget about the fact that you can get the focus and the stress. Because you can focus and link it to the roll. So he's definitely not getting shot. He is getting a shot range 2 onto Lando. And as long as... well, Lando moves first, so you can't do that. But, yeah, he should... I mean, he's getting a shot from Inky here. If Vader can put some decent crits in... Yeah, he's got a clear 3 hard next turn. He has used all his burners, though. So this next turn is going to hurt Vader an awful lot. An awful lot. Because that is going to be an angry ghost. Oh, that's big. Not in range. Not in arc. I think that might be game. Well, it depends if the Falcon stays on the board. But what he has done is he's got to focus for defense from the ghost. The problem is he now has to, be in front of the ghost next turn. It does depend how much damage Inky takes here. God, this is a game. Something about high-level X-Wing looking like low-level X-Wing. I want to see how close that was. I'm going to ask Kris to trigger that in a second. That is so ridiculously close. God damn. There we go. Control Shift V. I know a lot of the shortcuts. Also, I wonder if I can do this as a spectator. I can. Look at that. So I just control and clicked on the ship, and it brings up all of the options. You can see this here. So I can check for arcs if I would like to. I can go look at the rear arc. I can trigger the rear arc on and off. It is range 3 though, so there we go. Anyway, let's get rid of that. Okay, so we got auto arc checks. It's really good. We like this. Right. Oh man, Joel, stop doing that. I think Krista has children. Maybe, probably. Oh boy, that's a thing. That's yeah. Kris is not getting luck in this game. That's quite painful. So what's the crit? Direct hit? What do we reckon? It's 1 in 3. Wounded pilot, that's not terrible. Inky doesn't mind stress too much. Right then. Squeaky bum time. Oh my. Yeah. This is a thing. That's oh man. Jesus. So at this point, I think Kris spends the force and just goes for like multiple hits, because that's quite painful. I think you spend the force and go, cool, well I can't roll any more blanks than I already have. Let's see if I can roll some natural crits. Right. Yeah, spend force 3v1. Let's go for the RNG. It's been rolling against you all game. Oh, come on. Oh yeah, he spent the force in defense. So in which case, that's probably better. So he might. Hey, there we go. We like subs. See, RNG eventually comes back around. Irony is beautiful there. Rolls too many dice, only gets one hit, then rolls 2 out of hand. Totally fine. Good job, Joel, for calling him on it as well. Ends up worse for him, but you know, there we go. Yeah, it is correct. Yeah, so that is the case. It was a range 3 shot into Inky from Lando, but it was a range 1 shot into Lando from Inky because it's fully in the arc as opposed to the angle. And again, that's rough going. The amount of damage that Lando has taken here, like the amount of shots for very little damage that Lando has taken here is quite painful. So points wise, that is a big hill to climb. 95-55. You now have to half the ghost as well. And Vader's only one of half. Like Vader can realistically just die next turn. If the Falcon doesn't go off the board this round, then I think that's the game. Because I was expecting the Falcon to be on like maybe 1, and Inky can just finish it off next turn. Because the Falcon isn't. Oh, I mean, yeah. You can see there from Joel, like he didn't expect Lando to survive. That's why Lando's there. He gets the best shots possible. He maybe even dodges Inquisitor, but importantly, he should have got a shot onto Vader. Some really good flying from Kris to deny him that shot. And then Hero didn't even have to spend the target lock. Admittedly, Hero should get 4 there. I think expected damage into Vader is probably 2 shields, but it would have been good to get Lando off the board to do it. I'm not sure. I think I'd probably, in the situation I'm in as Kris, I probably would have gambled Vader. Because I know that Inky can just sit on the back of Hera for the next however many turns. I don't want Lando shooting Inky. I would have placed Vader there and gone, right, let's do it. I'm going to put 4 into you with crits. Chances are you're going to get either a damaged weapon, and then hopefully Vader could kill Lando. As it was, we decided to do the barrel roll. Probably the best decision in terms of mitigating damage. But then missing the shot, I mean, it's painful. I'm just going to very quickly check how close that is. Oh, it's close. See, that is... yeah, just 15 rounds max, by the way. 8-bit dirty, 15 rounds max. So that you've got some rounds. Inky has enough time to finish off the ghost because he can just sit behind the ghost. The thing is, you've got to watch out for that K10. And I'm not expecting it to K10 this round. There we go. Well, nice thing is you can follow me on YouTube. Amazing. Haha. Adventure Raffle. Adventure Raff. Oh my days. You guys really do have the best names. It's like an adventure giraffe. Anyway, sorry. Focus on the game. Options for next turn. Vader is stuffed, but we'll come on to that later. Inky can do a really safe 1 bank here, and he finally gets actions. Just pumps as much damage into something as possible. Now, the ideal is that Vader... yeah, the ideal is Lando flies off the board here, if you're talking about Imperials. If it's Joel, if the R2 fits, then Lando is in an amazing position. Because he just turns his arc sideways and just goes, cool, hi. Here is stresses. It's not a stress, it's a... she crashed into Lando, I believe, last turn, so she didn't have to stop. Her reinforces under the Inquisitor. She can't stop anyway. Ghosty doesn't have to stop. Hero tucks in for the other one. Yeah, absolutely. Hero just does a 2 forwards here, and says, "Thank you very much, Vader." you're screwed. If he has enough time to just get Darth off the board. That's the thing, he can reinforce backwards as well. He just reinforces the backwards, make sure he's only taking a single point damage per turn against Inky, and then he can bring that arc around. Because Hera is so expensive, so Inky actually has to kill her. Which means that if he keeps on crashing into Hera, then he can't win if Vader dies. So you need to get Vader down. If Vader dies, then Joel has a very clear win condition, which is stall the game out for another 5 turns after this one. And just not lose Hera, because Inky's already on half. If Vader's alive, then as long as you halve Ghost, then Kris wins. So I would actually be tempted by a 3 hard with Vader here. Just punch damage into the Ghost. But realistically, I think you have to probably even 1 forwards. 1 forwards barrel roll. Yeah, there goes Lando. That was always going to happen. So sad trombone. Right, now here's the question: how aggressive does the Ghost get? Yeah, Vader is stressed. Target lock was on Lando. Hero's lock is on Vader. Now Vader can get into range 2 here and survive. So I think a 1 bank, barrel towards the board edge, and a focus, and pray that you're only taking 1 crit. Inky puts as much damage into the back of the Ghost as possible. There is no, Vader has spent both of his burners. He has spent both of his burners. So I should probably do that. Let's make sure that's updated. Afterburners has 0 charges left. Bonk, bonk. Passive sensors is a thing that doesn't need spending. Cool. Damage is updated. That is a very dead Falcon as it escaped. Well, I said dead. Lando just went, nah. I will drop 1 onto the board for that because I know where it is. So if you're wondering, 2nd edition, so Chits, 2nd edition, reinforce. I apparently can't grab one because I'm not a player. Become player. Become player 3. Join another side. Player 3, okay. Dump as well as that. Very nice from Kris. He's already got Force, so he might as well fix the Wounded Pilot. That is a very good idea. Yep, there it is. There's the 1 bank. Barrel towards the board edge. If it fits. I mean, maybe not. I mean, you're not in range 1, so I don't think you need to. You might be able to. It probably doesn't fit. I think you take the focus anyway. No. Is he linking the roll as in force, or is he linking the roll as in stress? I need to clarify that. Depends which way he's going. I need him to clarify just to make sure. Because that's what he said last time he was doing it for stress. I want to make sure that he's clear in which order he does things so that everyone is clear and his opponent is clear as well. Lock. He's coming in hard. He's coming in aggressive. He wants to kill the Ghost. He's thinking that he's not going to get another turn of this, so he's rolling in. Yeah, there he goes. Okay, this makes life interesting. See, in that situation, I wouldn't have fixed Inky's crit. I would have target locked. Yeah, good point. I'm going to need to move the dice. Let's do that. Let's move the dice window down to over here. There we go. Sorted. Right. So importantly, did he reinforced the rear with the Ghost? So Vader punching into the nose is going to make a big difference, and Inky is going to get a good couple of turns of shooting against this Ghost. 4 versus 0. If you get multiple crits into here, this could be the game changer. Let me check. Right, 2 secs. I will pause the timer. There we go. Timer is paused. R9. That was R9. It is now round 9. 41, 44 remaining. Okay, there we go. Okay, we get a crit this time round. That is good news. So then we roll some more dice. Oh, sorry, dice. There we go. Oh my days. Oh, that's just unfair. That's just unfair. So at least he gets to keep the focus. I think Joel deserves some blanks here. I think that was the wrong decision with Vader, but let's see. He has got to focus on the lock. Oh my god. So Vader needs 3 symbols to survive. So realistically, Hera could have gone down to like 5 health there. And then Inky could finish her off in the next couple of rounds. Inky still can finish her off in the next couple of rounds, but it's going to take a lot of damage to do it. Oh, just under. Yep. Okay. So, come on Inky, you need to pull your weight now. This is going to be a really tense end of the game. Yeah, another 2 damage there would have been a real big difference. Youch. That hurts. That hurts a lot. Eesh. Right, well this is going to be fun. Yeah, so importantly, the 4K does not fit from the Ghost this turn. It's not anywhere close to fitting. 4K will put the there, and then the Ghost will go straight off the board. So really, I can see a hard 1 maybe, but probably a hard 2 followed by a 4K there, which means if Inky does a 1 bank, he might actually be able to do it. Cool. Yeah, that's so this is interesting. Inky needs to put 2 damage in here. That's alright, he does 1. It's not terrible, but could have done more. Right, now here's some maths for you. That's round 10. This is now round 10. The Ghost has 8 hull remaining, which I need to change because points are important now. So Ghosty is on 8, Inky is on 1, Vader is dead. No longer has Wounded Pilot. So, as you guys should be able to see on stream, 171 versus 110, because that is not quite a half health Ghost. It will be in a second when Inky does 1 more damage. There are 5 turns remaining of the game. If Inquisitor does maximum damage for 4 turns, then Inky wins. So you can't just reinforce the back every single turn. That was what Kris was going for. He was hoping to do 4 damage, and then Inky only needs to do max damage for 3 turns with the focus and the target lock, and that's very reasonable. The problem that you've got here is that next turn the Ghost is probably going to do a hard 2, and the turn after that it's going to do a 4K. And Inky cannot afford to take a range 1 face punch from that Ghost. That's an issue. So yeah, this is going to be an interesting couple of turns of positioning. Yeah, well, it might do. I don't want to risk it. So my thinking here is, so you can see my mouse, that's a 1, that's the 2, that's the 3, just about there, and that's the 4. So the 4 is about here. It might fit, it might not. The problem is that this one is 2 and 2, right? Now, a defender cannot do a 4K. It's slightly under 2 and 2. A defender cannot do a 4K unless it's inside that asteroid. Now, with a big, large base, even though you're at an angle, that's going to go straight off the board. 4K should be about there, and the rear of the base is probably going to plonk him straight off the board. Maybe, probably. I mean, it's close. It's not close enough that I'd risk it in a game that's this close. That's your Hail Mary shot. Like, if you literally have nothing else to do, if the ghost was on maybe like 2 hull, then you could try it. What I might ask them to do is I might ask them to check the 4K after the game. I'll roll it back and ask them to check it. But oh wow, it's a little bit squeaky. Now the thing is that I don't know how far this is going to go. I don't know. With it being a madman, I don't know if Joel's proven to be a madman. It was actually a very good decision pointing Lando towards that board edge if he thinks that he's not going to get another shot. That's why I wouldn't have ended up with Lando there the previous turn. Lando would have been over here, ready for a hard 2 around the asteroid and, you know, more shots. Anyway, that's by the by. The real question is now, how is Joel going to stop the Grand Inquisitor just chewing him to death? And how is Kris going to stop getting blatted in the face by the K-turn? I think Inky has to do a 1 bank here. Oh, for sure. Like, Joel is a very healthy madman. He's already proved it's very effective. So we'll see where we go from here. Thanks for the subs. Also, thank you, 380-year-old. I missed you. I'm sorry. And Prue Bear as well. There we go. Right. So there's the hard 2. I think most people knew that was going. 2 forwards. Ooh, this is going to be interesting. I think you need to boost straight forwards here, Kris. The 4K fits inside the range 3 ruler, so the 4K on a small base is exactly the same size as a 5 forwards, which is the range 2. 4K on a large base, therefore, is same size as effectively a 6 forwards if you take the base into account, which means it will fit very easily inside the range 3. Because range 3, every range band is 2.5. There we go. Can Inky position himself in a flank to avoid the reinforce? Maybe. What's more worrying is that he has a 4K coming in next turn and he needs a target lock. So I think doing 2 damage there is more important. Now the real question is... So basically, we've got a couple of options here. You can either do a 1 forward with the ghost, but I don't think that gets you anywhere. I think you do the 4K. I think if that was me, I would have target locked Inky with Hera, and just tried to get 4 hits. I think Inky has to do a hard 1 this turn and take an evade, which is really, really scary. And then I think if you can do enough damage to the ghost, I don't know. What would I do here? I'd be tempted. So it's round 11. There we go. You've got enough rounds to try and get around the edge, but you've got to do some damage. Yeah, the 200 points is the standard format for this. That's a tournament level squad. If you have never played the game before, my recommendation would be to try a list such as a Falcon and 2 X-Wings. That's pretty good. So like Lando or Han with a couple of X-Wings in support. Teaches you most things about the game, because you have... So like if you go for Luke, Wedge and Lando, then you get most possible options for the stuff. And it's also pretty easy to fly. Hello, Scott. There's the 4K. So I think it's such a hard decision what to do here. There's a hard one. Now, oh no, that's not going to fit. You need the evade. The problem is if you take the evade, so he's already got the target lock. So I think you take an evade, You're at range 3. So you take the evade, you spend 1 force on attack, you leave 1 for defense, and hope that you can get crits. There it is. And maybe the 4K fits next turn past that asteroid? I mean, it definitely doesn't. It goes straight through it. Yeah, that's... right. So it is range 3. Let's see how much damage comes in. Thank you, Tomash. Or Tomash? Tomash? I think Tomash. Okay, Inky is safe, spends the evade. No worries. Now he's free to spend all of his force on the attack. Let's see what we go. So, really, you could do with a crit here. If you can get a weapons failure crit on the ghost, then you're in a really good position. Yep, so spends the 1 force for the range, rerolls 2 with the target lock. Come on, let's get some crits. That's alright. Annoyingly has to spend the 2nd force there, but ugh, needed 3 damage. Right. 12, 13, 14, 15, 4 turns. You can afford to turn away. You can afford to turn away, that's fine. You do a hard 2 to the left. No, I think hard 3. You can't risk it. Yeah, I think you hard 2 to the left. And come around the back. Oof. Or maybe a 3 bank. I mean, you can't risk it. You can't risk coming anywhere in here because if you crash into the ghost, you're dead. Here it just goes 1 forwards here and takes a target lock. You can't do that. So, tough choices. Right, let me update damage so that everyone knows what the point situation is. For those of you that can't do maths, it is the case that Inky has to kill the ghost to win the game. So, you know, that's a stressful place for Kris to be in. Really good game to stream, not gonna lie. Oof. So this is squeaky bum time, as some might say. I don't know. It makes you think back to the beginning of the game where you had a really good shot from Whisper onto Lando with a target lock, and you just think, oh, if you'd have done a little bit more damage to Lando in that first engagement and you didn't have to go chasing him. I mean, really, Kris has just got really unlucky with his red dice here. I think you go for a 1 forward with the ghost, because then, like, regardless of what happens, if Inky is in front of the ghost, he dies. Like, you have a target lock, you have Saw. So 1 forward is absolutely fine. And then you do the 4K next turn, yes. So Inky obviously can't turn in. He can't turn in, so he has to turn away. So knowing that, where do you end up going with Inky? Because you start running out of turns. If the ghost reinforces, you can only do 2 damage maximum. You've got 12, 13, 14, 15. You have 4 turns left. So you need to be shooting and getting maximum hits for 2 turns at least range 2. It's, yeah, this is a very stressful end game. I think I do a hard 2 to the left here with Inky and then boost around. Oh, he did do 2 forwards. I'm not sure why. I mean, you're blocking off your K-turn options for next turn. I suppose he can just about fit a K-turn in there, maybe. There's the hard 2. And yeah, you barrel roll here. You do a barrel roll to the right, and you get your hard 1 left ready, because it will fit just. You barrel roll as far back as possible. Yeah, you barrel roll right as far back as possible. Get a hard 1 in. There we are. And you might even be able to boost around the side of the ghost. I'm expecting the ghost to do a hard 1 in here. I think Inky's got this. Kris has got this in the bag. The only problem is if that hard 1 doesn't fit and it clips the rock. This is not going to end on 15 turns. This is going to be a ship explodes on turn 15. I think I think you have to have a choice here between a 1 hard and a 4K. Personally, I do the 1 hard from the Ghost. Because I don't think a barrel roll to the left is going to fit with Inky. So I think you 1 hard and reinforce with the Ghost. You 1 hard and reinforce front. Because I think you get arc on Inky if he does the hard one. If you 4K, Inky can get around you. I think a straight boost will put him out of arc. Will the 1 hard clip the rock? I don't think so. I think it's super close, but because of the angle, it's not going to clip. Oh yeah, sorry, it's a red. So yeah, I think the 1 hard is still the sensible decision. And just punch him in the face. You've got the target lock. I think Inky would have to evade if he's range 1, which means you get 4 dice against evade, single force, and 2 force. It's close. You need to get 4. At which point, Inky goes for the damage trade, and you end up doing 4 dice. You end up on a 7-on-7 final salvo. If these guys kill each other in the final round, it is a 7-on-7 final salvo, which is a definite possibility considering the ship positions. I don't think Joel would risk a 4K here. I think there's too many good options for Inky. Also, there is an option of Inky doing a 4K, in which case the hard one puts you in a brilliant position. So there we go. I've talked myself into it. Let's see what Joel thinks. That's a very good question. Come on, guys. I need to cook dinner. Hurry up. Oh, there it is. There's the hard one. Oh, sorry, there's the 4K. So a hard one and a straight boost from Inky will mean that... Oh! Come on. I'm going to have to roll this back a few turns and check whether certain moves fit. I don't think that's in range. That is not in range. I think Kris just lost. Because nobody's in range this turn. You've got 3 turns left, but the Ghost is pointing straight at you next turn, and you are stressed with Inky. Oh, man. Okay. So, I think that was just super risky from Inky there. If the Ghost turned around the corner... nope. 13, I think. It's a good thing I'm keeping an eye on the time. I believe, because it said dials around 12. 1 sec. Let me check. The timer is going to make a difference here. Timer is basically timer won't matter. So dials around 12. Set lock set dials. Nope, this is 14. This is 14. Yep, there we go. Yeah, this is definitely around 14. Cool. Sorry, just keeping up with the chat there. They never called out that it was around 13 last round in the chat. So there we go. I can't really see a good out for Kris here. He's got a 1 hard to the right, but he needs to shoot both turns with Inky. Conversely, I think Joel has to reinforce. And if he soars, then he gives an in for Kris. I mean, a 1 bank seems sensible from here to here. I think that's got to be the case, because if Joel 1 banks, then a hard 1 and a booster round can actually get Inky out in the side of Hera. So I think Hera has to reinforce, at which point the 1 bank doesn't give him a very clear K turn, so maybe even a hard 2. Oh, sorry, it's the 2-bank blue. Ooh, see, I don't find the ghost enough. There we go, the dial's on the table. Let's just hover over the dial. It is not. The 2-bank is blue. In which case, because the 2-bank's blue, I think Joel does a 2 hard here. Can he? Can he risk it? He just has to survive. I think Joel just has to survive. So Joel does a 2-bank blue, takes a reinforce, and I think just disappears with a ghost. Well, shut up, Andreas. You just pay more attention to X-Wing than me then, obviously. Oh, man. I love you too. Right. Yeah, I think it has to be a 2-bank. And then I think here just has to get away. So basically, can Kris get 2 good shots into Hera? Because I don't think Joel can play for the kill here anymore. Yeah, and as Kris is saying, just a single point of damage on... Yeah, there we go. Hard 1 boost gets him in. A single point of damage. Oh no, the 4K fits. Oh, Jesus. Okay. Well, this is fun. So, first of all, the hard 1 has to be in. If he's done the hard 1, because the hard 1 boost might not even get Inky back in arc. Secondly, he's going to have to, yeah, at least he gets him in. So that's fine. Oof. Right. So that's in, but it's not range 1, which means that Kris needs to get some pretty perfect dice. He has to get all symbols here, or he needs to get a crit. Next turn, the ghost is doing the 4K. Or is it? I mean, I don't know. I don't know anymore. What is life? Right. So yeah, he's still got the reinforce in play, just. There's a crit there. So he's only going to do a crit. But it could be a double. And if it's a double... Go on, show me a direct. Wounded pilot. Ah, no. So, Joel's won the game. Unless it's crit. All he has to do now is he has to do a 3 forwards. Or a 4 forwards, because I think that's white. Yeah, 4 forwards. Take a reinforce on the back. And not take a crit. Conversely, if the ghost has 1 hard left, I believe the 1 hard for Inky will fit. Also, if Inky is in contact with the ghost, then it can shoot the ghost, and that's a much easier way of killing it than having to get direct hits. So it's still a much better decision for the ghost to go 3 forwards and reinforce the rear. It's just a better chance. The only way that Kris wins this, if the ghost goes forwards, is by getting a direct hit onto the ghost. Conversely, Joel might not think about that and may 4K, in which case Kris can win just by getting 3 hits, and then he forces the final salvo, which gets interesting because it's 7 dice against 7 dice. I so hope that's the ending. Right. Kris only has one move this round. He can only do one thing. So, Kris News, what's Joel going to do with it? Right, I'm just going to go. Oh, come on. I need to cook dinner. I need to pee. Turn 15, last turn. See what he does. I'm expecting a 3 forward reinforced rear. Oh, he's gone for the K! Oh, man. Why? Why don't people play like me? Oh, God. I can't take this. This is a really, really good game. I'm so glad I've got this recorded. Now, frustratingly, I don't know whether that's in arc. God damn it. So, yeah, so when Joel watches this back, he's going to hear me shouting at him. Wait, what? Oh, you said ass. There we go. Please refrain from saying ass on my stream, even though you said assured. I need to. Where is my stream bot? I need to turn that off. Where are you? Stream, output, audio, overlay, notification, widgets. I don't know where it is anymore. Doesn't matter. General? Is it in here? No. Okay, we'll work that out later. I need to turn off the bot somehow. Oh, that's really, really close. I mean, so let's put something straight up against it. I think that's in. I think that's in. I think he can target lock. Yep. So Joel has already worked out it's a 7 versus 7. Now, Chris's best chance is getting the kill. So I think he has to take a target lock. Well, just stop using nasty words. It's that simple. Alternatively, use simpler English so that the streambot doesn't get confused and sees your hidden nasty words. Yeah, I think I would want to take a target lock here with Kris, but again, he can't. He already did it once where he was just out, and this is the problem with Vassal. It's not sure. Supercalifragilistic, expialidocious. Yes, simpler English. That was definitely not in the dictionary. Yeah, I think Kris might have the corner, but it's Vassal and it's a little bit off all the time, so you can't be sure it is that close. So let's, yeah, it's super close. Checking it again. I'm not sure he does. Not sure he does. It's super tight. Yeah, the problem is that on the table you can guarantee arcs just by eyeballing it. You can basically do the same as the judge would do before you measure. The problem is on here it's a lot harder to do that because the arcs don't quite line up along the lines. So whilst it looks, so what I've just done is I've literally put a ruler up against the screen and lined down the line, and the corner of the ghost is in. The problem is that I don't think that's the way that Vassal does its firing arcs. So, you know. There is 3 hull on the ghost, but it's not reinforced, so maximum hits here kills the ghost. If they both die, because here it does have a target lock, then it's mutually assured destruction, and you go for final salvo because there are no ships left on the board. So all ships get shots. Come on, guys. I need to eat. The overlay is stale. Oh, should probably fix that. There we go. Sorted. We fixed it. Right then. So, Ghosty gets a shot on Inky. Now, does he do damage to himself? Yep. Joel's going for it. He's going for the final salvo. So, he has to soar if he wants to do any damage. Okay, so the ghost is down to 2. Alright, let's see what we got. That is 3 crits coming in, and that's a dead Inky. So looks like Kris has got to kill the ghost. And then we're going for final salvo. Right. If there is a blinded pilot in here, I think everyone needs to F for Christopher in the chat. Either a damaged weapon or a blinded pilot. We've already got one damaged weapon and one blinded out on Vader. So we've got a console fire, and we also have... Oh my god. Stop it. It's just not fair. F in the chat for Christopher. Well, looks like we have a 2v0. As long as it's in. It might not be in. It is in. That's good. Okay. So all we need is 2 hits, and then we go to salvo. Oh man. There it is. Salvo time. Oh jeez. I hate you guys. Just finish the damn game. Okay. 7 dice versus 7 dice. See what we got. Right. Joel's got initiative. Joel rolls first. Let's just make sure my dice window catches this. Alrighty. So we only have 2 hits for Joel. This is going to be such beautiful irony if Kris wins this on dice. On red dice as well. So 2 hits for Joel. 7 for Kris. Kris wins. Final salvo. Wow. Okay, I am done. Hope you enjoyed that, and catch you guys later.